Okay, can you hear me? Testing 1, 2. I'm still not in my studio. I'm still on the laptop. Let's see. Let's see if this is working. I hope it is. We can hear me? Everybody can hear me? I hear you. Good. All right, you can hear me and see me. That's it. That's very important. Some technical difficulties today dealing with, so let me look at myself. I can hear myself. Wonderful. Okay, great. Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. There is a temporary internet outage in my studio, so that is supposed to get fixed tomorrow. And I am on my laptop at a backup location with internet. So I would ask your patience. The stream will not look like it normally does, and it'll sound a bit worse than it normally does. But at least I can stream for now. So I apologize, but please be patient with the technical difficulties. Okay, so we are here to bring you an update on Hurricane Beryl, which is a Category 4, and it is approaching the Windward Islands. And there are hurricane watches right now for the hurricane warnings right now. There are hurricane warnings right now for Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadine Islands, Grenada, and Tobago. All those places. So, is this technically the Caribbean? Is that what you'd say? I'll show you on a map where it is. I'll show you on a map where it is. But the Windward Islands, says Wikipedia, are the southern, generally larger islands of the Lesser Antilles. The Lesser Antilles are a group of islands in the Caribbean Sea. Yes, so this is in the Caribbean Sea. Our viewer, Capi Tainko something, is in Curacao, if I'm pronouncing that right. So the place we're talking about, I'll just show you on a map. I should show you. Hold on. Let me show you on a map where we're talking about here. Oh, I'll get the interactive map up from National Hurricane Center. That's what I should do. Let me get the interactive map from the National Hurricane Center. Do they have the interactive map posted? Yes, they do. That'll be easier. So this is from National Hurricane. Oops, hold on. Hang on. I didn't do something. Let's see. What am I doing wrong here? So why can't you see that? Oh, I got to press something here. Hang on. Haha. Okay, so there that is. We want the track, we want the cone. Okay, so from National Hurricane Center. So there's the United States and there's Mexico, right? United States, Mexico, there's Cuba, there's Puerto Rico. And down here, so there's Puerto Rico right there, South America. You have these places here. So there's Jamaica, but they're not, actually just, wait, I'm wrong about this. I'm sorry, there's Barbados. There's Barbados, and Barbados has a hurricane warning. And there is Tobago, and they have a hurricane warning. So we have Barbados and Tobago, right? And then we have Grenada here. And then we have St. Lucia here. That's Martinique. And they do not have a hurricane warning right now. They have a tropical storm warning. So St. Vincent and the Grenadines there, hurricane warning. Grenada, hurricane warning. So again, Barbados, Tobago, St. Lucia, Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and St. Lucia. They all have hurricane warnings now. Yes, Puerto Rico does not have a hurricane warning or a tropical storm warning or watch right now. Kathy Morrell says we are on hurricane warning. Everything is closing at 8. I don't know where Kathy is. Anybody in this area, please make sure you're staying safe and listening to what the authorities are telling you. Yes, as Randy J says, it has undergone some rapid intensification. So that's what we're talking about right now. By the way, it is supposed to eventually get to, well, it looks like for now it's going to get to this is the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, is it not? But it is supposed to weaken a bit, still be a hurricane, but weaken a bit. You can see it says H there. At this point, which would be July 4th, Thursday, it's supposed to be 100-mile-an-hour max sustained wind. So category, that's a 2, right? It's a category 4 right now. But it is supposed to weaken a bit after it goes through here. And then eventually you can see over here it says tropical storm there. But that gives you the general path. But right now, the big immediate worry is places like, again, Tobago, Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia, and Grenada. And according to the National Hurricane Center, what they say is, I'm going to play you something from them. They posted a live update. They said the highest risk of the hurricane core is in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada beginning early Monday morning. So we're talking about in here, Grenada and then St. Vincent and the Grenadines, because that's right in here. That's where they think the most likely path is. I'm going to show you in a minute. I'm going to show you what the National Hurricane Center said in a video. They have a video they posted. Hey, thanks so much, Gordon Gott, by the way. I really appreciate that, Gordon. Gordon says lots of cruise ships out there. Now, I'm guessing they've known this coming, so I'm guessing cruise ships and other ships would get out of the way, because it's not like this thing has come out of nowhere. Thanks, Gordon Gott. I really appreciate that. And also, I want to say a quick thanks to our moderators. AJ is here moderating. Thanks, AJ. We're going to be taking some comments and questions from you guys. Ruth Krafasi is here moderating. Also, over there on Twitch, we have moderating right now David Green, Idaho Star, Papa Bear, and Sharon C54. Thank you. And, oh, thanks, Real Change, for your support. I appreciate that, Real Change. And I also just want to say thanks to our Facebook moderators. Christina Neal is over there moderating. Bud Green, hey, Bud, thanks for moderating, Bud. Kay Lowry Body is moderating. Still don't have the stars fixed on Facebook, I see. Margaret Riley is moderating. Thanks to all of our moderators over there. And let me see here. Oh, I wanted to show you, this is from Tropical Tidbits, which is an awesome site. Highly recommend Tropical Tidbits. And I really appreciate them letting me show their stuff. Hey, thanks to our new member, Zach, by the way, too. Thanks, Zach. So Tropical Tidbits, great site for hurricane stuff. That's a satellite shot there. And if we can see here, right there where my pointer is, that is Tobago, and that is Barbados. And this is going to be, if I have this right, this is Grenada here. Hang on. Is Grenada more than one island? We'll find this out. Grenada, it's an island country. Oh, 3 islands. Grenada has 3 islands. Grenada itself and 2 smaller islands. Anyways, we have, hold on. Pull it up on Google Maps for you too. I got to do it this way. Let me do this way. Hang on 1 second here. Open in Maps. Oh, that's better. Oops. Let me do this. Let me do this. Everything's a bit more challenging today because I'm not in my normal studio. I am on a laptop because there is an internet outage in my studio and it is supposed to get fixed tomorrow. So I apologize. It's kind of harder to do everything. Where is the thing I wanted to show you? Oh, hold on. Here it is. We're going to watch that video in a second, but not quite yet, because first, where is this thing here? Aha. There we go. So what I want to show you is Grenada, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines. See that? It's supposed to go right in between them, possibly. These are the most likely impact of the hurricane core is going to be felt at the St. Vincent, the Grenadines, and Grenada. But there's hurricane warnings in a bunch of places. So if we go back to tropical tidbits, that is Grenada and that's St. Vincent and the Grenadines, right? Because if we look back on our map, where's our map? Yeah, and that's St. Lucia. Okay, perfect. So right there, that's, again, Tobago, Barbados, Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And you can see that well-defined eye moving towards it. True says a minor turn either way would be awful from the looks of it. Yeah, I mean, if we zoom in here, Grenada, the island of Grenada, in Grenada, is in the cone. And it's possible for it to go outside the cone as well. But I mean, Grenada, in theory, could take a direct hit. Someone suggested marine traffic. So maybe we'll look at marine traffic later. But again, I'm not a ship expert, so I can't look at marine traffic and say, wow, I can't believe all those ships are there, because I don't know what's normally there. But again, it's been several days that this has been developing. So I have to imagine that any ship that is in danger from this has known it for several days and is making its way out. I can't imagine that there's some big ship out there that like hasn't checked the weather in several days and is doing nothing to get away. So I'm going to assume that the ships are all doing what they need to do to be safe. Rule says they're all heading south. That's what Rule thinks they're doing. Anyways, maybe we'll check that in a little bit. So in a second, I'm going to play you what National Hurricane Center is saying, their latest update. Also, isn't this the earliest? I got to find this. Hold on. It's like, is it the earliest Cat 4 in the Atlantic ever? Since records have been kept? I saw something about this. Yeah, so Matt Devitt, who's a meteorologist at Wink News in Southwest Florida, he said this is the strongest hurricane on record in June and the earliest Atlantic Category 4 hurricane. The strongest hurricane on record for June and the earliest Atlantic Category 4 hurricane. Nessa says, yes, it has broken records. Aspire says, Aspire to Cycle says, I was thinking it's kind of early for hurricane season. I believe the most hurricanes happen, what is it, August, September, November? Sorry, August, September, October. I can show you a graph. Here, right here. Right there it is. That's from National Hurricane Center. So you can see there it says, based on data from 1944 to 2020, you can see the peak is around, I think, September 10th. Yellow is hurricanes, red is hurricanes and tropical storms. But the most number of them come in September, October, and August. Bog Katie says, batten down the hatches. Gordon Gott says, glad I moved out of Florida. Homeowner insurance was so expensive. All right, so you know what I want to do, guys? Why don't we play? Let's play what the National Hurricane Center had to say. How about we listen to them? Now, can I make this a little bigger for you? That's not really any bigger. I don't know that that's a help. Is that a help? Let's try that. We're going to try this. I haven't even watched this yet. They did an update 2 hours ago. So let's play what the National Hurricane Center said. It's not a long update. Here we go. Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Mike Brennan here at the National Hurricane Center. It's just after 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, June 30th, coming on this afternoon to talk about the extremely dangerous situation that's unfolding for the Windward Islands. It's going to play out overnight tonight and early Monday morning with the extremely dangerous Category 4 Hurricane Beryl moving quickly towards the Windward Islands, moving west-northwest at 18 miles per hour with maximum sustained winds of around 130 miles per hour. Right now, Beryl is centered about 250 miles to the southeast of Barbados and also 350 miles to the east-southeast of St. Vincent. We have a hurricane warning in effect for Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, and St. Lucia. We're expecting multiple life-threatening hazards with Beryl as it moves through the Windward Islands. We have the potential for catastrophic wind damage with the eye wall of a major hurricane moving through the area, especially between St. Vincent and Grenada, including the Grenadines. That's the area we're most concerned about on Monday morning for the eye of Beryl to be moving through. In that region, near and to the north of where the eye passes through, we are expecting 6 to 9 feet of storm surge above normal tide levels, along with devastating wave action on top of that. So that could produce life-threatening storm surge in these island areas. So if we look at the key messages, sort of the things we're most worried about right now, extremely dangerous Category 4 hurricane as Beryl moves through the Windward Islands overnight tonight and early Monday and then into the Caribbean Sea. You really just have a few hours left if you're making preparations on Barbados, St. Vincent, the Grenadines, Grenada. You want to be in your safe place by tonight, and a safe place where you're going to be able to ride out this major hurricane all the way through the day Monday morning. I talked about the potential for catastrophic hurricane force winds, life-threatening storm surge inundation, also the potential for very heavy rainfall, especially in the mountainous areas of places like Barbados and St. Vincent and the Grenadines as well. And then Beryl is expected to remain a powerful hurricane as it moves across the Caribbean Sea and could threaten other areas that we'll talk about in just a minute. But first, our focus is going to be in here in the Windward Islands where we have that hurricane warning in effect. This is the wind field currently of Beryl. We have hurricane force winds extending out about 30 miles from the center. Tropical storm force winds extend outward more than 100 miles from the center. And this wind field is going to move quickly west-northwestward toward the Windward Islands over the next 12 to 18 hours. This is the chance of hurricane force winds over the next several days, and you can see the highest risk of those is between Grenada and St. Vincent, including the Grenadines. That's where we're most concerned about the eye wall of Beryl moving through early Monday morning. Time of arrival of tropical storm force winds in Barbados is going to be in the late evening to early morning hours tonight and into Monday morning, and then very early Monday morning in the Windward Islands. So again, preparations need to be complete by nightfall tonight at the latest, and be in that safe place overnight tonight and through the day on Monday. Rainfall, I talked about, we're looking at widespread rainfall totals of 3 to 6 inches across Barbados, the Windward Islands. Isolated amounts could reach 8 to 10 inches in places like Barbados and the Grenadines, 6 inches in Grenada. That could produce localized flooding, especially in areas of high topography and in more sensitive locations to flooding as well. Let's zoom out, talk about where Beryl is going to go as we go through the week. It's expected to remain a powerful major hurricane as it moves through the Windward Islands and across the eastern and central Caribbean Sea. While the center is expected to remain south of Hispaniola, tropical storm conditions are possible along portions of the southern coast of the Dominican Republic and the south coast of Haiti. Tropical storm watches have been issued for those areas. It means there's tropical storm conditions possible there within the next 48 hours. Beryl could move near or over Jamaica as we go through the day on Wednesday, and then move into the northwestern Caribbean, passing near the Cayman Islands, and then approaching the Yucatan Peninsula, Belize, Mexico, perhaps even western Cuba as we go from Thursday into Friday. So Beryl is going to remain a hurricane through most of the week. We could see some weakening as it interacts with land and encounters somewhat less favorable conditions over the western Caribbean, but still expected to be a powerful storm for the next several days. In terms of the timing of arrival of those tropical storm force winds, in Hispaniola, we'd be looking at them to arrive sometime during the day on Tuesday, potentially in Jamaica by early Wednesday morning, the Cayman Islands by Wednesday evening, and then reaching the Yucatan Peninsula by Thursday evening. So we'll be watching Beryl as we go through the entire week. I want to briefly touch on a new tropical depression that's formed in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. We've been monitoring this system for the last couple of days. It's become better organized. The main threat from this system, as we've talked about, is going to be heavy rainfall. And we are expecting to see flooding across portions of eastern Mexico with mudslides possible in areas of higher terrain. We could see some isolated rainfall amounts as high as 15 inches. We do have a tropical storm warning in effect for portions of the Gulf Coast of Mexico, and we are expecting the depression to become a tropical storm briefly before it makes landfall just later tonight and overnight. But again, the main story with this system is going to be the heavy rainfall, so please pay attention to that. We're watching one other feature out across the tropical Atlantic. We have an area of low pressure here just to the southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands with a high chance of formation as it moves west-northwestward across the tropical Atlantic over the next several days. We are expecting another tropical depression or tropical storm to form this week, perhaps to the east of the Lesser Antilles, and it could, in fact, affect some of the areas that are going to be affected by Beryl tonight and Monday. So we're going to keep a very close eye on this. But for those you in the Windward Islands, we're going to get through Beryl over the next 12 to 18 hours. Again, very worried about the potential for catastrophic wind damage, life-threatening storm surge, especially in St. Vincent, the Grenadines, and Grenada as we go through tonight and tomorrow morning. So find your safe place, get those preparations rushed to completion. We'll have more information throughout the night and into Monday on hurricanes.gov, and we'll be back with you with more later. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Brennan at the National Hurricane Center.
So you heard the areas that are most worried about right now for early tomorrow are St. Vincent and the Grenadine Islands and Grenada. I'll show you that for a second. Hang on one sec here. Oops, all right, hang on, folks. The population of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is over 100,000, about 103,000. Plus, I assume any like tourists who might be there. And the population of Grenada is 125,000. Can be interesting to look on a map to see what it's like there. But here again, this is from Tropical Tidbits, great hurricane site. And what you can see is there's that live satellite shot, and And down here is Grenada, and here is St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines right here. They are seen as the most at risk, but also hurricane warnings also in Barbados, Jamaica, and St. Lucia. Brad says, look at that eye. Beezy says, look at that eye. Yeah, this really rapidly intensified over the last couple days. It is the strongest hurricane on record in June and the earliest Atlantic Category 4 hurricane, according to meteorologist Matt Devitt. Scott Yellen says, my daughter just got out of Grenada a few hours ago. Alicia Rivera said her daughter is on a cruise in the Caribbean. Again, it's not like this just got plopped down today. It's been developing for a couple days, so I'm assuming ships in the area are doing what they need to do to get away from it. Let me show you what the National Hurricane Center, the storm surge is also something to keep an eye on as well. Do they have a storm surge map yet? I don't think they do. They have a forecast discussion and a public advisory. They say extremely dangerous Category 4 Beryl approaching the Windward Islands. Life-threatening winds and storm surge expected there beginning early Monday morning. Let's see here. Beryl's currently a Category 4. Fluctuations in strength are likely during the next day or so. And Beryl is expected to remain an extremely dangerous Category 4 hurricane through landfall in the Windward Islands. Hurricane conditions are expected in the hurricane warning area beginning early Monday morning. Potentially catastrophic wind damage is expected where the eye wall of Beryl moves through portions of the Windward Islands, with the highest risk of the core in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada, which is in here, where my pointer is, right in here. I don't know if you can see my pointer. See my pointer there? Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And as one of our viewers said, I mean, if it wobbles one way or the other, that could affect where the core, where there's a direct hit and what gets the eye wall. They also said, this is interesting too, wind speeds atop and on the windward sides of hills and mountains are often up to 30% stronger than the near surface winds indicated in this advisory. And in some elevated locations could be even greater. So if you live like on the side of a mountain facing the wind or a hill, you could get even stronger winds. They also say life-threatening storm surge will raise water levels by as much as 6 to 9 feet above normal tide levels in areas of onshore flow near where the eye makes landfall in the hurricane warning area. Near the coast, the surge will be accompanied by large and destructive waves. The rainfall, while significant, is not like as much as you sometimes see because it's going to go fairly fast through these places. Beryl is supposed to produce rainfall totals of 3 to 6 inches across Barbados and the Windward Islands through Monday. Localized maxima of 10 inches is possible, especially in the Grenadines. And just so you can see So if you look at the tropical tidbits, you see it's approaching Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which are over here. What I want to do is show you on Google Maps what those places look like more close up. So Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, see right here? So the storm is supposed to go through here. Now, for example, Grenada, if we zoom in, you know, there are definitely there are these towns right on the side of the island that the hurricane's supposed to be on. Some of these are right on the water too. So obviously, if you have some kind of direct or near direct hit, I mean, look at this. I mean, this is Grenada Island, and you got a significant amount of structures and houses and buildings, you know, right on the side where the hurricane is, and there's storm surge that's going to happen too. So there's a lot of development on that eastern side of Grenada. Now, the storm could miss it to the north or something, but we'll have to just see what happens. And then if we go up here, not much here. So up here, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Oh, I think didn't one of our viewers say, no, one of our viewers did not say, this is another island here. I forget how to pronounce this. It's like, is it Kuriasu? I got to look it up. It is, it belongs to Grenada. It is pronounced Carriacou, which is part of Grenada here. Carriacou. And if we go further north, we get to, see up here, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Here's Port Elizabeth. Here. So you can see there's a lot of, you know, housing. These are small, a lot of these are small islands. And here is up here. I don't even know the name of the islands. Is this St. Vincent? I don't even know. I'm going to have to look this up. My point is just showing you that there's a lot of places where there's, you know, housing and buildings like right on the coast next to the water, in some areas facing where that hurricane is coming from. Yes, St. Vincent is a volcanic island in the Caribbean. It is the largest island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So, you know, if the hurricane took a bit of a northern track and got near the south of St. Vincent, well, this is the south of St. Vincent here. Look at all these places right near the water. So I'm just trying to give you a sense of you know, what these islands look like there. But it's not like, oh, everybody lives away from the coast. Looks like a lot of people live close to the coast because it's very, you know, I mean, one of these islands, St. Vincent's like a volcanic island. So not many people are living up here. So this is very concerning. Electromagnetic Bliss says this is the same island you covered with a volcano a few years ago. Yeah, maybe we did. I don't exactly remember, but that's certainly, I remember some volcano in the area. Was it on St. Vincent and then the Barbados was getting ash or something? I can't remember. You can give me a shout at Lookner on X. Uh, Dingush Khan says the direction you're facing doesn't matter quite as much as you would think, especially on a small island. Well, I think it matters for storm surge, because storm surge, if you're on the side of the island where the wind is pushing the water inwards, that's going to create the storm surge. Where if you're on the other side of the island, the wind will be pushing the water away from the coast. That's what I was thinking of there. But this could be really devastating. Let me show you again what the cone is. Here is the cone of uncertainty. I don't know if they updated this at all. I think they only update the cone every 6 hours. So this is from National Hurricane Center. But if I zoom in here, oh, we'll do it like this. We'll do it like this. There we go. There, that's better. That's better. So there's the cone right there. 2/3 of the time, the hurricane will stay in the cone. That's the basic probability idea. Any chance it goes Cat 5, it's not supposed to get to Cat 5 right now. The max sustained winds are supposed to get to, I believe, 140, according to National Hurricane Center. You know what? Let me remove the watches and warnings because you can't see with it on. There. So you can see the Grenada Island is in the cone. St. Vincent Island is just north of the cone. It's supposed to be early Monday morning. By this time tomorrow, that's 2 p.m. AST tomorrow. It's already over here. Roxy is in St. Vincent living in Canada. She says, I found your channel in 2022 when you covered the St. Vincent volcano eruption. Thanks, Roxy. This cone represents where the most likely path of the center of the storm is. There is basically a 2/3 chance it stays in the cone. It is supposed to weaken once it starts moving west. You can see by here, by the time it reaches over here, max sustained winds are 100. Right now they're 130. Fortunately, as it goes through here, it's not impacting land here as it makes its way several days this way. Right now, Jamaica is in the cone of uncertainty. For right now, it's supposed to go south of Jamaica, but Jamaica could be significantly impacted as well. Cloud99 says they predicted to decrease to Cat 1 because of crosswinds near Cancun. Wind shear they're supposed to get. I'll show you something about that as well. This is the forecast discussion. Did they up this for 8 p.m.? I don't think they did. No. Okay, you can see right, actually the pressure I think dropped a little bit, which means it's a stronger storm. They did the 8 p.m. AST update. AST is Atlantic Standard Time, which is the same as Eastern Daylight Time, I believe. Eastern Time. Is it Eastern Time? Yes, Eastern Daylight Time is the same as Atlantic Standard Time. So it is 7. They just came out with a new update a few minutes ago, the National Hurricane Center. And what you can see is that the max sustained winds is still 130. So it's a category 4. But the pressure, I believe, dropped from 960 to 958. I think. I can probably find it. Where's the Storm Archive? Storm Archive. Advisories. there. The previous advisory was pressure 960, movement west-northwest at 18 miles an hour. And this one was it's moving at the same direction and speed, but the pressure actually dropped from 960 to 958. So that's strengthening. Here's their new advisory. Extremely dangerous Category 4 Beryl approaching the Windward Islands. Life-threatening winds and storm surge expected there beginning early Monday morning. Hurricane warnings in effect for Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, the Grenadine Islands, Grenada, and Tobago. The area of highest concern is Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadine Islands right now. A continued quick westward to northwest-northwestern motion is expected during the next few days. Beryl is expected to move across the Windward Islands Monday morning and across the southeastern and central Caribbean Sea late Monday through Wednesday. Fluctuations in strength are likely during the next day or so, and Beryl is expected to remain an extremely dangerous Category 4 hurricane through landfall on the Windward Islands. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 30 miles from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outwards up to 115 miles from the center. Oh, they didn't update this because this says 960. It's 958. Maybe that's just I mean, they should have updated this to 958. Potential hurricane conditions are expected in the hurricane warning area beginning early Monday morning. Potentially catastrophic wind damage is expected where the eye wall of Beryl moves through portions of the Windward Islands, with the highest risk of the core in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada. As I said before, wind speeds atop and on the windward sides of hills and mountains are often up to 30% stronger than the near-surface winds indicated in this advisory, and in some elevated locations could be even greater. And I think a bunch of people live on the sides of hills and mountains in those areas, those islands. Windward means facing the wind. Don't forget the storm surge. Life-threatening storm surge will raise water levels as much as 6 to 9 feet above normal tide levels in the areas of onshore flow near where the eye makes landfall in the hurricane warning area. Now, I don't know. I'd like to look up. I mean, have any people like, I'm not aware of any kind of like huge evacuation program for locals. I don't even know where you take them at this point. But so I guess, people who live on these islands are just largely just taking cover and battening down. But the population of both Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I believe, is above 100,000. And that's just the native population. That's not the tourists. But it does seem like a direct hit on one of these islands could really, really do an extreme amount of damage to what's there. Here, this is this right here is it's Carriacou. Is that this one, Carriacou? Let's look up that on Google Maps. This is an example, because right now the prediction has it could definitely not do that, but the prediction has the eye moving right through there. So there's Carriacou, right? There's Carriacou right there. Not a big island. Probably like roughly 2 miles by 4 miles. That's maybe like 4 miles long by 4 or 5 miles long by 4 or 5 miles long. And if you look, I mean, I don't know if we can do street view. Can we do street view? No, we can't do street view there. But these are, I mean, I'm assuming these are not very hurricane resistant houses here. There's a lounge there, a resort. But this is the island of Carriacou. No, you can do this. There's no street view for a lot of these streets, but you can do this. All right, so look, yeah, this is Carriacou. I'm sure it's lovely there. That's on the coast in Carriacou. But first of all, you have places right on the water. If there's a lot of storm surge, that's going to be an issue. And obviously a lot of boats in there, although I hope people have gotten their boats out if they could. But, you know, these don't look very, I'm sure it's not like they're like 10, 5-story strong concrete buildings. So right now, the hurricane is forecast. Now, might not do this, but right now the track takes it right over Carriacou. As I'm showing you right there. That's it, Carriacou. Look up here. Is there any other spots here? Let's see, there. I was trying to see any other places we could see pictures. There's no street view. No street view. They have an airport there too. Carriacou Airport. How about here? So, I don't know. Barry says, I imagine they have disaster plans for people. I wonder if I can look up and see like what the Carriacou authorities are saying. Hey, thanks so much, Stormbreaker Chasing. Stormbreaker Chasing believes elevated areas experience stronger winds because the winds that impact those areas aren't impacted by friction with the ground or ocean. Thanks, Stormbreaker Chasing. I appreciate your support. It's moving at 18 miles an hour. Let me see if I can find Government of Grenada, state of emergency, Grenada. Let's see what they say. I'm trying to see what I can find here. Government notices? No. It says state of emergency. I'm clicking on it, but there's no link. As of 7 p.m. tonight, state of emergency. Where is... All right, I'm not really seeing much there. Office of the Prime Minister. Did the Prime Minister post anything? Here we go. Oh, did they give a little update? Hold on, what's this?
21 miles long and...
So I'm going to let you watch a little of this. Wait, what is this? What is GIS Grenada? I might not be able to show. No, Government Information Service of Grenada. So I can show you this. Hey, this is from the government of Grenada. They gave an
Grenada, that is just about
they gave an update on Hurricane Beryl. Hold on, let's take a little look at this. See, it says the Office of the Prime Minister of Grenada. Right there. So let's see what they had to say a short while ago. We don't have to watch the whole thing, but this is the government of the island nation of Grenada. Yeah, I'll turn down the volume a little bit. I guess it was a little loud there. Let's see what they had to say. Might take a second to start here. This is from their government.
Good evening, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. We are live from the National Emergency Operations Center at the NADMA headquarters. This is our 7 o'clock update. Joining us for this update is Prime Minister, the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, Dr. Terence Walters of NADMA, and Ms. Cassie Johnson, forecaster at the Meteorological Office at the Morris Bishop International Airport. We'll take you over now to Ms. Johnson for update number 7.
Good evening. As of 5 p.m. today, the center of Hurricane Beryl was located at 11.1 degrees north, 56.5 degrees west. In relation to Grenada, that is just about 358 miles east-southeast of Grenada. It remains a Category 4 hurricane with maximum sustained winds of 130 miles per hour. And it is currently moving west-northwestward at 18 miles per hour. It has slowed down a bit from 2 p.m. update to 18 miles per hour. It was previously moving at 21 miles per hour. The minimum central pressure remains at 960 millibars. We can see that the area of the hurricane is quite large, and it is bigger than so many islands combined, so we are expecting to get some direct impacts from this hurricane. Hurricane Beryl is expected to move across Grenada as a Category 4 hurricane as it moves towards the west-northwest. On its current path, the center is expected to move near Carriacou, but the entire island is going to feel the effects of the hurricane with strong winds and rainfall. A hurricane warning remains in effect for the state of Grenada, which means that hurricane conditions are expected within the warning area within the next 36 hours. Barbados is already beginning to feel the effects of Hurricane Beryl, so within a couple hours, we also will start feeling the effects of this major hurricane. Winds of 130 miles per hour with higher gusts is expected near the center of the hurricane, near the eye wall, and extending outward to about 30 miles from the center. Grenada is only 21 miles long and 12 miles wide, so the entire state will feel the effects of this major hurricane. Rainfall totals are expected to be 3 to 6 inches across the island state, and it may also be up to 10 inches. We are expecting flash flooding and landslides, as we have already gotten some showers from that tropical wave that passed us yesterday. Storm surge is also expected within the area. Waves as high as 6 to 9 feet is also expected within our area. Again, on the screen, Category 4 Hurricane Beryl is expected to start impacting us within the next couple of hours. It has already begun affecting our neighbors in Barbados, and we are expecting a strong Category 4 hurricane to pass through Grenada within the next couple hours. Over to you.
Thank you, Cassie, for your updates. We now move to Dr. Terence Walters, coordinator of NADMA.
Thank you very much, Press Secretary, and good evening, everyone. We are just hours away from the impacts of strong Hurricane Beryl. Grenada is under a hurricane warning, and I repeat, Grenada is under a hurricane warning, and conditions are expected tonight. Hurricane conditions are expected tonight into tomorrow. NADMA has made the necessary preparations at a meeting of the National Emergency Advisory Council on Saturday. It was decided that the National Emergency Operations Center, that's the headquarters here at NADMA at Mongelou, will be activated along with our district emergency operations centers. We have one in Black Bay, one in Riversally, one at Pearls, one at Bel Air Carriacou, and the other at Petit Martinique. These district emergency operations centers where our district teams will function are activated and opened as of today. Also, we've opened shelters across the island. So if you are going to be at any of the shelters, well, first let me just remind you that your first place of shelter is your home. And if you think that your home will not withstand the event, then you seek shelter with family or friends. And if that fails, then your last resort is the emergency shelter. And we remind people that when you go to the shelter, you need to walk with a supply of food and water. And if you have bedrolls or sleeping bags, anything like that, you need to walk with that when you're going to the shelter. You need to walk with some supplies that can last you up to 3 days. So if you are going to the emergency shelter, you should be there already. You should be there already because as announced earlier today, no one should be on the streets after 7 p.m. except for the emergency services or essential services, all right? So no one should be on the street except essential services. If you intend to go to the shelter, you should be there already. So some of the things that you can do, some last-minute preparation, because as the Meteorological Office said, we will be impacted by Hurricane Beryl tonight into tomorrow. Some of the last-minute things you can do, secure your important documents. So you should have already done all the other things in terms of purchases at the supermarket and so, but now you can secure your important documents. This is a time when you can do that. Also secure your appliances, your television sets and other appliances that you may have. Find a secure place for them, and you can also cover them with plastic to prevent water damage. So these are some of the things that you can do now. You can also make some last-minute checks with family and friends, loved ones, to ensure that they are safe. All right, that's one of the other things that you can do. So there are some last-minute things that you can do as residents to ensure that you and your family are safe for this storm. Now, the security services are on alert, have been mobilized, and are ready to protect the population. So our security services across the island are ready to protect the population before, during, after this event. And we urge that you adhere to the regulations that are given by the Royal Grenada Police Force and the government of Grenada. So again, you should be already at the shelter, and now is the time that you should shelter in place, remain where you are until after this event. So you should be in a safe place, and you should remain in that safe place until after the event. NADMA will continue to provide updates as long as possible into the night as we head into this event. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Walters. We will now hear from Prime Minister, Minister for National Security and Disaster Management, the Honorable Deacon Mitchell. He will highlight the Emergency Powers Proclamation.
Thank you, Press Secretary. Good evening to the citizens of Grenada. As promised, we continue to provide you with timely updates as to our preparations for Hurricane Beryl. You've heard clearly from the Met Office that it is a dangerous Category 4 hurricane. The hurricane will impact all of Grenada, not just the northern part, and so it's important for us to appreciate that. It is already impacting Barbados, and we expect that it will impact all of the Windward Islands and possibly other islands as well. This afternoon, Her Excellency the Governor General issued a proclamation that declared a public emergency for the whole of Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. In simple terms, it means a state of emergency has been declared. As a result of the declaration of this state of emergency, the following emergency powers will come into force effective as at 7 p.m. tonight, and they will expire at 6:59 p.m. on the 7th of July 2024. So first, let me repeat, the regulations governing the emergency powers are effective as of 7 p.m. tonight, and they will remain in force for at least 1 week and will expire at 6:59 p.m. on the 7th of July 2024. If, however, we do not suffer any major damage, or if by some miracle the storm misses Grenada, we naturally will end the state of emergency much earlier. At this time, however, there is no indication that Grenada will not bear the brunt of the effects of the storm, and so as a precautionary measure, the state of emergency will go in effect from tonight at 7 p.m. and remain for at least 7 days and will naturally expire at 6:59 p.m. on the 7th day of July 2024. The following restrictions therefore apply. Restriction 1, restriction on freedom of movement. As of today, the 30th of June 2024, and commencing at 7 p.m., persons will be subject to a curfew. That curfew will commence at 7 p.m. tonight and will end at 6:59 a.m. on the 2nd of July. Let me repeat, a national curfew is being imposed from 7 p.m. tonight and will expire on the 2nd of July at 6:59 a.m. unless further extended or unless brought to an earlier end. So there's a national curfew. You are expected to remain at home. You are expected to remain in your place of shelter if you are in a public shelter. No movement of persons will be tolerated. The following exceptions, however, may apply. And these exceptions are as follows: members of the Royal Grenada Police Force, members of His Majesty's Prison, that's the prison officers, members of the Department of Environmental Health Services, members of the waste disposal and sanitation companies, and when we say members here, we are referring to employees, employees and officers of the Airports Authority and the Grenada Ports Authority, employees of gas stations, employees of the government printery, and other essential officers who work with public utility companies, including water, electricity, electronic communication, and any persons who work in the electronic and or print media. All workers who fall under these categories are expected to have their identification with them at all times, so that if they are stopped by the security services, they can be properly identified. I will go over the list of persons who are exempt for clarity from the curfew. Again, members of the Royal Grenada Police Force are exempt. Any employees who work with the hospital or in the healthcare, medical, residential care facilities. Officers of His Majesty's Prison. Officers and employees of the Department of Environmental Health and Services. Employees of any waste disposal and sanitation companies. Employees and officers of the Airports Authority and the Grenada Ports Authority. Employees who work at any gas stations, employees who work at the government printery, other employees of public utility companies, including water, electricity, electronic communication, or print and electronic media. And I'm repeating that all such workers should carry their personal identification with them. To be clear, the following are not permitted during the period of the emergency regulations, and these include all religious and educational places of instruction or worship shall remain closed in the first instance during the period of the curfew, and that is from 7 p.m. tonight until 6:59 a.m. on the 2nd of July. So, all government departments except those listed above are also closed, and all private businesses except those listed above will also be closed. The regulations provide for penal sanctions should someone not comply with them. The emergency powers are being put in place for public health, public safety, safety of the citizens of Grenada, and safety of our nation. We appreciate that this will be a difficult time. It will be a trying time, but we need to ensure that we do all in our powers to minimize the presence of persons on our roadways or in public spaces during this time. While and when the storm passes over Grenada, even if your property is damaged, we are going to encourage you to find as much as is possible some safe haven within the spot that you are, whether it's your home, whether it's in a shelter, and remain there until NADMA gives the all clear. Particularly at night, it is not sensible to attempt to move during the hurricane. We should also indicate that when the eye is passing over, you may have a temporary period of calm, but it is likely that the winds and the rain will pick up again, and you may be caught if you attempt to move from one place or the other during the period of the hurricane. So we are going to urge you, as of tonight, to remain where you are until the hurricane passes and until NADMA gives the all clear. We will continue to provide you with updates. We expect that Grenada will begin to feel the effect of the hurricane certainly in the late night, early hours of the morning, and as been predicted, we expect that to happen for the remainder of the morning and for large parts of the day tomorrow. We will continue to provide you with timely updates, especially after briefings from the National Hurricane Center and after briefings from the Met Office and from NADMA. We urge you to use this time to spend some time with your loved ones, to appreciate them, to share with them, to play and pray with them, and to continue our preparations. Be mindful of the fact that there are sectors of our society that are vulnerable. As we already have reports that significant enough numbers of our citizens have heeded our advice and have moved into the shelters that are open. The team here at NADMA will do everything to support our district coordinators and deputy district coordinators and other volunteers who provide support to our shelters. I want to urge us all again to make sure we take as much precautions as necessary. A reminder that Nawasa will be turning off the water at 9 p.m. tonight, so you may have another hour and a half to fill up with anything that you can with water so that you have adequate supply, and at this time water is obviously quite essential. I will repeat that the electricity will remain on as long as it is safe to do so, so there is no plans to turn off the electricity unless it becomes dangerous to keep it on. Thank you very much, Press Secretary.
Thank you, Prime Minister. And once again, we are committed to sharing information as it becomes available and as often as possible. I believe we have one journalist online, Mr. Roberts from the diaspora. You can go ahead if you have any questions.
Okay, just a minute. Yes, I have three questions for you, Mr. Prime Minister. The first is, are you satisfied with all of the precautions and all of the information that you've been given has reached residents? And what is your assessment as the hurricane bears down? That's the first question. The second question, we in the New York diaspora are looking on, of course, our hearts and prayers with our loved one back home and with Grenadians, Caracoans, and Martinicans. What message do you have for us in the diaspora? And last but not least, the chapter, the NDC New York chapter is on organization mode. And we've mobilized our members, and we continue to mobilize the Grenadian community up here. So we would like very much, if it's quite possible, sir, tomorrow, that we in the chapter and know what is happening back home, if there are any needs and what we can do so that we can trigger our people to get involved in any sort of recovery help that is needed at that time. Thank you.
All right, thank you for the questions. But let me first start by saying the development of this hurricane has happened in record time. And as you can see, we are not yet in July. And within the first effective 29 days of the hurricane season, we have a major Category 4 hurricane that is likely to make landfall. And so the rapidity with which the hurricane developed, I think, would have surprised even most seasoned meteorological and weather experts. And so NADMA, I think, has given in the last 24 hours, this might be its 9th or 10th briefing. I believe this is the 9th meteorological update. So as fast as the information has come in, we've sought to provide that information to our citizens. The National Emergency Advisory Council met yesterday afternoon, and coming out of the meeting, very clear decisions were taken and communicated to the public. I appreciate that we have not had, since 2005, in July, we had a minor hurricane when compared to Hurricane Ivan the year before. So in a sense, the last time we've had a major storm, or certainly a hurricane, is 19 years. And despite all of the great work of NADMA and other agencies since Hurricane Ivan, the truth is, until it's happening, it's not happening. And so we appreciate that the public may not necessarily have appreciated the severity and the risk that the country is facing as a result of this. We will continue to do everything to send the message that this is to be taken seriously, that our citizens need to prepare, and they need to continue to listen to NADMA and the Met Office for official information. We believe that the citizens have begun to do so and are acting on the information that has been received, because as far as we can see, certainly the shelters are open and persons are actually moving into the shelters ahead of the storm reaching us. And I think that's a clear sign that the messages are being received and that people are acting to ensure that they can safeguard themselves and safeguard their families. And I want to commend persons who are doing so, because oftentimes we tend to wait and react after the fact. But the fact that people are being proactive, the fact that people are listening to what is happening, the fact that all of the shelters are open and that persons have begun to move into the shelters. We are getting reports from the district coordinators. They're giving us the numbers and the data, and that is coming in. So I certainly think our citizens are taking the hurricane seriously, appreciate that it is dangerous, and appreciate that they need to be prepared. But you can never be totally satisfied in circumstances where you have a dangerous Category 4 hurricane that has developed quite rapidly. For Grenadians in the diaspora, we will say to you, you can continue listening to the briefings. We will continue to provide information as soon as we have it in a timely manner. We are essentially in the state of having to ride the storm out. After we have done so, we will obviously do the necessary assessment. The assessment will tell us the extent of the damage and loss, if any, that we suffered, and then we would be in a position to know exactly what help we need. But I think given what the Met Office has said to us, we are expecting storm surges that are dangerous. We are expecting significant rainfall. We are coming out of a severe dry season, and so we expect that with the significant rainfall, we are likely to see land slippage, and therefore, with a Category 4 hurricane, there is a high probability that if we get a direct hit, that there will be significant damage to our housing stock, particularly our wooden homes. And so it is expected, therefore, that if that should happen from a relief perspective, obviously water, canned foods, tarpaulins, temporary housing, all of these things will immediately become a priority. We are working closely with our regional counterparts and our regional agencies. We've been in constant communication over the last several days. This is not just a storm affecting Grenada, it's a storm affecting from as far south as Trinidad and Tobago to far north as Barbados and beyond. So all of us are on high alert. We are all committed to sharing resources and helping each other. And there is another system that is following Beryl, and we are also paying close attention to that. So we are in the hurricane season. The experts all predicted that we are likely to have a hyperactive season, and thus far their predictions are bearing fruit. And so it's important for persons in the diaspora to appreciate that it's not just about this storm, but about the entire season. And therefore we may need, in a sense, to be in a state of having relief supplies and other essentials that we may need on an ongoing basis should this storm hit us and hit us directly. I hope I covered the 3 questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. We do have a question from somebody online, and I believe it's for Dr. Walters. What should someone do in the event that the shelter that they're in or the home that they're in is destroyed during the state of emergency?
Okay. I'm trying to figure out exactly what the question is saying here. But if you are in your home or you are in a shelter and it is damaged or destroyed, then you need to get to the nearest place of safety. Okay, you need to, because it would be a situation where you were trying to preserve life, so you need to get to the nearest place of safety if the house or the shelter is damaged or destroyed. So you'd have to make a decision based on the circumstances. So it's not like we could say if the house is destroyed, you do 1, 2, 3, but you need to ensure that you protect yourself and whoever else is with you and get to a place of safety given the circumstances where you are.
And I think that's why it's important. If you know that your house is vulnerable, please move to a shelter immediately. We do have a question from Kellon Bob. Kellon, you may go ahead with your question.
Oh, yes, good evening. I have 2 questions. The first question has response that will be forthcoming from the regional security system. Perhaps if the Prime Minister can give us.
All right, I think I'm going to just go away from this right now, but if you want to watch the rest of that update, it's actually kind of a neat update, very interesting update there from the officials in Grenada, the island nation of Grenada in the Caribbean, which is one of the 2 nations that the National Hurricane Center says is at most risk from the core of this hurricane passing through. Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 2 island nations, both at the most risk for the core passing through. Right now, the current forecast track takes the hurricane through one of the islands of Grenada. So we've been watching, this was an update they did about an hour ago, their government did, and we've been watching their government update. Over 100,000 people live there in Grenada. If I remember right, I looked it up before. Let me look it up again. Grenada population. Just look it up right here. It is 125,000 people live in the island nation of Grenada. So, you heard them. They have a curfew. After 7 p.m., they said no one can, I think it was 7 p.m., they said no one can be out on the street except for emergency workers. The time there is, I think it's the same time as Eastern time. What is it right now? Yeah, it's 8:35 p.m. in Grenada right now. So, and it's supposed to impact the Windward Islands early Monday morning. Yeah, here is that track from the National Hurricane Center. So you can see there's the U.S. and South America there, and if we go in here, there's Cuba up here, and if we go over here, you can see it has it going right here. There's Grenada here, and there's St. Vincent and the Grenadines here, and it has it going right. Well, I mean, it could. There's a decent chance it won't go on this exact path, but if it does follow this path, that would take it over the island of Carriacou, which is in Grenada. So, but St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada, two island nations that the National Hurricane Center says they're at most risk for taking the impact of the core of the storm. So it is supposed to, so you can see it says it'll be there at 2 a.m. and there at 2 p.m. So just eyeballing it, it looks like, it's talking about if that's the speed at which it's going, just eyeballing it, 8, 9, 10 a.m., 11 a.m. in this area right here, Monday morning. Monday morning? I forgot what day it was. Today's Sunday, right? Yes, today's Sunday. But yeah, I mean, you heard the Prime Minister, I think it was, said, it was the Prime Minister or one of the other officials in Grenada talked about how the concern over that, there's a lot of wooden structures there. A lot of those structures are not, when you look on, we looked at the satellite shot before of the island of Carriacou, I believe you pronounce it, but it didn't look like a lot of those structures were hurricane resistant, like wood structures. So, and that's a small island too, Carriacou. It's about 4 or 5 miles by 4 or 5 miles. And so, if one of these islands takes a direct hit, or one or more of these islands takes a direct hit, that could really damage a large part of the island. All right, we'll take some more comments from you guys. Yeah, the island I was talking about is Carriacou, I think it is. Yeah, Carriacou. Carriacou is an island of the Grenadine Islands. It is part of Grenada, but it's part of Grenada, and it's located in the southeastern Caribbean Sea. Carriacou. The population of Carriacou is 10,000 people. 10,000 people live on Carriacou. See, it says Carriacou. No, I think some people are confusing it with Curacao. It's not Curacao, it's Carriacou. Curacao is a different island in the Caribbean than Carriacou. And here is the current satellite shot from Tropical Tidbits right there. Now, it might not, look, it might jog north or south, so we don't know exactly where it's going to go. Right now, it looks like it's going somewhere, where this is Grenada, sorry, Grenada is here, and Grenada is here, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines is here. That is from Tropical Tidbits. Hey, a quick thanks to, yeah, Marty says it's not like they can load up in a car and head north or west in the US, they have nowhere to go. Thanks to our moderators, by the way. Sarah55 is moderating, Ruth Krafasi, Havasu Mom. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. BZ, Linda Belk and Larry over there on X moderate for us. Over on Twitch, we have our moderators, Bastion Girl, Big Ball of Yarn, David Green, Idaho Star, Papa Bear, and Sharon C54. Thank you. Also on Twitch, thanks so much to Haas McKayfabe and Real Change for your support. And on Facebook, we have moderating Kay Lowry Body, Christina Neal. Thanks so much. Any other moderators I might be missing over there? Margaret Riley, thank you. Now, just a heads up for tomorrow. So some of you know this. I am not in my normal studio right now. There is a power outage in my studio. In the studio I set up where I normally do these broadcasts. So I'm on my laptop at another, I had to go somewhere else that had internet. So tomorrow around morning, midday is when they're supposed to come and fix the internet. So I need to be there when that happens, and I can't be on the air when that happens. So I apologize. You might say tomorrow, like, why isn't he covering this? Or why isn't he covering the Supreme Court ruling on immunity if that comes out or whatever, which is supposed to. So just so you know, tomorrow I'm going to have to deal with the repair person and hopefully get the internet fixed in the studio so I can broadcast from there, which is a million times easier than doing this. But just a warning that, I think it's possible that normally I'd be covering this tomorrow, but I have to be dealing with the repair person. So just a heads up about that. Oh, thanks so much, Kimmy, for your support. I really appreciate it. Kimmy, thank you. Christina Wrightwich says in St. George's there is a med and vet school. Which is the, so St. George's University you're talking about. St. George's University is in Grenada. They put out something. It's on Grenada Island. St. George's University is on Grenada Island. And they put out something that our viewers sent to me. I'll show you, thanks to Christina Wrightwich. Hang on. Let me show you that real quick. They put something out that said dangerous weather emergency plan. This is a university in Grenada. Hurricane Beryl is expected to impact Grenada late tonight through Monday as a dangerous Category 4 storm. High winds and heavy rain. Shelter in place until the all-clear message is given. From the University of Public Safety. Stay away from windows, doors, and skylights. Stay away from loose power lines, gas leaks, and structural damage. If flooding occurs, move to higher ground. Do not walk, swim, or drive through floodwaters. Charge cell phones prior to the hurricane. Abstain from alcohol consumption during the storm as it may impair your judgment. Thanks so much to Walter Beasley. Thanks, Walter. I appreciate that, Walter. And also, Christina Wrightwich mentions to me that CBS News said the last strongest hurricane to hit the Southeast Caribbean was Hurricane Ivan, which was a Category 3 storm in 2004 and caused catastrophic damage. As I mentioned, if this hurricane as a Cat 4 hits one of these islands directly, it could wipe out a lot of what's on the island, because it really does look like a lot of structures there are not, hurricane resistant structures. I might play that really short update from the National Hurricane Center again. So I'm taking a few more comments here. Our viewer Will Weaver says he thinks that it might be headed for an eye wall replacement cycle. Also, he says current observations suggest Beryl may have weakened slightly. I haven't been looking at the observations on tropical tidbits. I can look and see. They have aircraft recon coming in here? Aircraft recon. Well, that says status en route. Is there something in storm? In storm, there it is. So this is an aircraft that's in the storm. And on Tropical Tidbits website, which is what I'm looking at now, you can look at the readings it gets. Now, hold on a second here. Where is... Well, this was, I mean, this red is pressure, right? That red there. Means sea level pressure. So it looks like this flight, by the way, what is Z time right now? This is like the current flight. Z time, I think, is 048. So I believe like around an hour ago, it looks like it got a 956 or something, close to 955. The last official pressure was 958. That looks like it's a little lower than 958, although I don't know how if they read it directly off of there or what. Oh, Mauricio says Teal 75 on Flight Radar 24. Anyways, you can go to Tropical Tidbits and look at the different measurements it's taking. I'm not an expert who can like read everything off of there, but I believe that the pressure, I think I'm right about what the pressure said. Yeah, you can look, that shows you like how fast the wind is. Does that say 958? It does say 958, I think. Peak 10-second average flight level wind speed. And this one is NOAA 2 mission number 3 into Beryl. It shows you where it is. It says right there. Yeah, I bet if we pull up Flight Radar 24, you can see it. Hold on. I'll pull it up here for you. Sorry, everything's because I'm not in my studio, everything's a real pain to do because the internet in my studio is out hopefully until just tomorrow. But it's a lot more of a chore to do everything. It's like barely loads. Hang on. Is this the one? Yeah, right here. I believe that's probably it. Number 1 tracked worldwide U.S. Air Force plane, Teal 75. So that might be the weather plane there on. I mean, it's in the. I think it's in the. You see, Barbados is here. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is here. Grenada is here. I don't see another one in the area. Does it say here the call sign? No, it says, just says NOAA Mission 2. Javier says that's it. I would not be surprised if that is it. I guess it left radar coverage or something because you're not seeing. It's been that one has been going back and forth. Here. anyways, hang on one moment here. Give me one moment. So thanks for writing in. Where is the, sorry. Here again is the, that's the satellite from Tropical Tidbits. Oh, Levi Cowan, who runs Tropical Tidbits, he just made a post I want to show you. Let's look at what Levi Cowan has to say. He's a hurricane expert. He just posted this. Check it out. Levi says, Dr. Cowan says, Hurricane Beryl is moving in close alignment with the last 12 hours of model projections, keeping the storm cone on course to directly impact Grenada, the Grenadines, and St. Vincent overnight to early tomorrow morning. And that is his site, Tropical Tidbits. The Capital Weather Gang says researchers have been warning for months that the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season could be one for the record books, and now it is. As of, hold on a second. It's a record because there is no precedent for a storm to intensify this quickly nor reach this strength in this part of the ocean during the month of June. Records date to 1851. Beryl went from a tropical storm to Category 3 hurricane in 36 hours. It intensified by 75 miles an hour during that time frame. According to researcher Sam Lelo, says the Capital Weather Gang, that level of rapid intensification has never happened in June and has happened only twice in July. No Category 4 storm has been seen in this part of the ocean during the month of June ever in recorded history. The only other two major hurricanes in June in the Atlantic occurred in the Gulf of Mexico. The Capital Weather Gang says the Atlantic's main development region between northern South America and Africa was believed to be inhospitable to major hurricanes during the month of June until now. Evie Shore says this might be really bad. Thanks, Ivan. Ivan says Grenada is one of the largest producers of nutmeg. That's what Ivan says. Thank you, Ivan, for your support. Yeah, Grenada is down here, and then St. Vincent and the Grenadines is right here. These islands here. Evelyn in Maine says, its early formation, rapid intensification, and location are all record-breaking. John Frazier says, I hope the people in the Windward Islands stay safe. But as Marty said, they have nowhere to go. You can't start driving 100 miles away or something. Somebody asked about forecast models. I'm not going to go through those right now, but if you want to find weather models on Tropical Tidbits, there's a tab that says forecast models, and then you can click through the different models here. That's on tropicaltidbits.com. It's a great website. Appreciate them letting me show their site. Thanks, by the way, to Debbie Campbell for your support. She says, I have many friends on Grenada. I hope they stay safe. Hang on a moment. I'm going to show you what the National Hurricane Center said one more time, just to summarize everything. Eddie says that's quite an eye wall. All right, let's just take a quick look. This was the National Hurricane Center gave a short update a couple hours ago. So I just wanted to show you what they had to say about this, okay? Let's just take a look and see what they had to say. Nope, that's not what we want. Here. Let's play the National Hurricane Center. This is what they said in their update about 3 hours ago.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Mike Brennan here at the National Hurricane Center. It's just after 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, June 30th, coming on this afternoon to talk about the extremely dangerous situation that's unfolding for the Windward Islands. It's going to play out overnight tonight and early Monday morning with the extremely dangerous Category 4 Hurricane Beryl moving quickly towards the Windward Islands, moving west-northwest at 18 miles per hour with maximum sustained winds of around 130 miles per hour. Right now, Beryl is centered about 250 miles to the southeast of Barbados and also 350 miles to the east-southeast of St. Vincent. We have a hurricane warning in effect for Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, and St. Lucia. We're expecting multiple life-threatening hazards with Beryl as it moves through the Windward Islands. We have the potential for catastrophic wind damage with the eye wall of a major hurricane moving through the area, especially between St. Vincent and Grenada, including the Grenadines. That's the area we're most concerned about on Monday morning for the eye of Beryl to be moving through. In that region, near and to the north of where the eye passes through, we are expecting 6 to 9 feet of storm surge above normal tide levels, along with devastating wave action on top of that. So that could produce life-threatening storm surge in these island areas. So if we look at the key messages, sort of the things we're most worried about right now, extremely dangerous Category 4 hurricane as Beryl moves through the Windward Islands overnight tonight and early Monday and then into the Caribbean Sea. You really just have a few hours left if you're making preparations on Barbados, St. Vincent, the Grenadines, Grenada. You want to be in your safe place by tonight, and a safe place where you're going to be able to ride out this major hurricane all the way through the day Monday morning. I talked about the potential for catastrophic hurricane force winds, life-threatening storm surge inundation, also the potential for very heavy rainfall, especially in the mountainous areas of places like Barbados and St. Vincent and the Grenadines as well. And then Beryl is expected to remain a powerful hurricane as it moves across the Caribbean Sea and could threaten other areas that we'll talk about in just a minute. But first, our focus is going to be in here in the Windward Islands where we have that hurricane warning in effect. This is the wind field currently of Beryl. We have hurricane force winds extending out about 30 miles from the center. Tropical storm force winds extend outward more than 100 miles from the center. And this wind field is going to move quickly west-northwestward toward the Windward Islands over the next 12 to 18 hours. This is the chance of hurricane force winds over the next several days, and you can see the highest risk of those is between Grenada and St. Vincent, including the Grenadines. That's where we're most concerned about the eye wall of Beryl moving through early Monday morning. Time of arrival of tropical storm force winds in Barbados is going to be in the late evening to early morning hours tonight and into Monday morning, and then very early Monday morning in the Windward Islands. So again, preparations need to be complete by nightfall tonight at the latest and be in that safe place overnight tonight and through the day on Monday. Rainfall, I talked about, we're looking at widespread rainfall totals of 3 to 6 inches across Barbados, the Windward Islands. Isolated amounts could reach 8 to 10 inches in places like Barbados and the Grenadines, 6 inches in Grenada. That could produce localized flooding, especially in areas of high topography and in more sensitive locations to flooding as well. Let's zoom out, talk about where Beryl is going to go as we go through the week. It's expected to remain a powerful major hurricane as it moves through the Windward Islands and across the eastern and central Caribbean Sea. While the center is expected to remain south of Hispaniola, tropical storm conditions are possible along portions of the southern coast of the Dominican Republic and the south coast of Haiti. Tropical storm watches have been issued for those areas. It means there's tropical storm conditions possible there within the next 48 hours. Beryl could move near or over Jamaica as we go through the day on Wednesday, and then move into the northwestern Caribbean, passing near the Cayman Islands, and then approaching the Yucatan Peninsula, Belize, Mexico, perhaps even western Cuba as we go from Thursday into Friday. So Beryl is going to remain a hurricane through most of the week. We could see some weakening as it interacts with land and encounters somewhat less favorable conditions over the western Caribbean, but still expected to be a powerful storm for the next several days. In terms of the timing of arrival of those tropical storm force winds, in Hispaniola, we'd be looking at them to arrive sometime during the day on Tuesday, potentially in Jamaica by early Wednesday morning, the Cayman Islands by Wednesday evening, and then reaching the Yucatan Peninsula by Thursday evening. So we'll be watching Beryl as we go through the entire week. I want to briefly touch on a new tropical depression that's formed in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. We've been monitoring this system for the last couple of days. It's become better organized. The main threat from this system, as we've talked about, is going to be heavy rainfall. And we are expecting to see flooding across portions of eastern Mexico with mudslides possible in areas of higher terrain. We could see some isolated rainfall amounts as high as 15 inches. We do have a tropical storm warning in effect for portions of the Gulf Coast of Mexico, and we are expecting the depression to become a tropical storm briefly before it makes landfall just later tonight and overnight. But again, the main story with this system is going to be the heavy rainfall, so please pay attention to that. We're watching one other feature out across the tropical Atlantic. We have an area of low pressure here just to the southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands with a high chance of formation as it moves west-northwestward across the tropical Atlantic over the next several days. We are expecting another tropical depression or tropical storm to form this week, perhaps to the east of the Lesser Antilles, and it could, in fact, affect some of the areas that are going to be affected by Beryl tonight and Monday. So we're going to keep a very close eye on this. But for those you in the Windward Islands, we're going to get through Beryl over the next 12 to 18 hours. Again, very worried about the potential for catastrophic wind damage, life-threatening storm surge, especially in St. Vincent, the Grenadines, and Grenada as we go through tonight and tomorrow morning. So find your safe place, get those preparations rushed to completion. We'll have more information throughout the night and into Monday on hurricanes.gov, and we'll be back with you with more later. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Brennan at the National Hurricane Center.
Was the National Hurricane Center, and I wanted to show you guys something. Hang on one moment, guys. Yeah, so real quick, I just want to show you guys something from Marine Traffic, which is a ship tracking and maritime analytics provider. Marine Traffic, www.marinetraffic.com. So you can actually track ships at Marine Traffic, and I want to show you their live map. Some of the viewers have mentioned this to me. A couple of viewers have mentioned this to me, which I appreciate. And I'll give you the name of one of them. If I can find it here, I can't find it. Our viewer Anam Kara said there is a lot more north to south traffic than usual from Grenada to Trinidad on marine traffic. If you look at the density overlay, I don't know how to look at the density overlay. I'll have to look into that. But a couple of viewers mentioned this to me. It appears that there's a bunch of ships on marine traffic going away from Grenada, which I would not be surprised about. So let me show you that. Marine traffic right here. Oops. Hang on a moment. I'm going to show you this right now. One second. One moment here. Where is the one thing I want to get is the satellite. I think there's a way of doing this here. I haven't used marine traffic in a little bit. I forgot to refresh my memory. Where is it here? No. Live map. Is it? Map type. Map type. Satellite. There we go. There. I'm going to put it on regular, actually. All right, so this is marinetraffic.com. I'll actually put on light map. But what you can see is there's Grenada right there. So the hurricane is supposed to make its way through here, somewhere in here, at the most probability with St. Vincent and Grenada, somewhere in here. That's where the current track is taking it right through here. But we'll see what happens. But if you look at Grenada, there's a bunch of boats, and I assume they're leaving. You can see this one's going south, this one's going south, this one's, see they're all pointing south, or most of them are pointing south. There's a lot of boats pointing south. The direction, the headings are all like 180, roughly around 180 degrees. Then more down, some more down here. So it's interesting to see a lot of those boats moving south. I'm not sure that for all I know, every day they do that, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's because of the hurricane. All those boats moving south. But again, I don't check it every day. So it's possible that every day it looks like that. But anyways, that's called marinetraffic.com. It's a great site, marinetraffic.com. And again, they are, how do they put it? What is it called? It is the actual phrase I wanted to tell you. It was, I said it before. But it's a cool site for tracking ships. What is that phrase they use? It is a ship tracking and maritime analytics provider. JK says marine traffic is cool. I appreciate marine traffic letting us use their map and show their real-time map. Great site. Check it out, marinetraffic.com. Okay. Craig says they can't all be going south every day or they would run out of ships able to head south. Russell Neal says probably going below the hurricane because it will turn up, not down. Well, it's in theory supposed to pass north of Grenada Island. Well, maybe pass north of Grenada Island, but it's more like if you just look at the cone here. So it might hit Grenada Island actually, but you can see the cone is between Grenada and then some of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but if you were trying to go away from the storm and you were on Grenada, you'd go south rather than north. That'd be the easiest way to get away from it, according to the cone there. All right. So again, the basic idea is a dangerous Category 4 storm. Sometime tomorrow morning, it's supposed to make its way through here and directly impact one or more of these islands in here. The island nations of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada are the most likely to be impacted by the core of the storm. And just to remind you, I mean, there's over 100,000 people who live in each of those nations. And as I showed you before, just to show you one more time, if you zoom in on these islands, I mean, there's a lot of structures, a lot of houses. This is Grenada, that's Grenada Island, and that is Carriacou Island. Currently, the center of forecast track goes through Carriacou Island. But if you just look at it, I mean, there's a lot of, it doesn't look like these are, very strongly built structures, a lot of these structures here. I'm just showing you. About 10,000 people live on this island. But, just eyeballing this, oh, you can actually see some of these things. There's some pictures here. So there's some pictures of that harbor or something, whatever that is there. Trying to show you some more pictures of what it looks like there. Looks lovely. But, these don't look, a lot of these places do not look, certainly don't look very hurricane resistant. So, unfortunately, if you have this storm passing over one of these islands, it could really devastate the island, it looks like. Because it's, these are small islands, fairly small. I mean, this one looks to be about, 5 by 5 miles roughly or something like that. But, it doesn't take a genius to look at it and say, wow, that could be a huge impact. And storm surge as well, 6 to 9 feet of storm surge possible. So I'm just kind of I'm trying to just give you a sense of what the islands look like when you're on them. And then down here, this is in the cone, Grenada Island. Plenty of people who live here. Like look up here, Grenada Island. I can't do, unfortunately, Street View there. We get to switch to so many people in places are at sea level. So I'm very concerned what might happen to these places if they take, direct hits. This is from Grenada Island here. And this is right on the water, So, very concerning, very concerning. And you can also check out Tropical Tidbits is a great site to look at. That's where this satellite shot is from. It's from Tropical Tidbits. They also have forecast models there. They have real-time data from the recon aircraft. So definitely check out Tropical Tidbits website. That's another great place to get information. Tammy, Florida says Kingstown, St. Vincent, which is the main town, is in danger of devastating flooding. Javier says, I'm watching a webcam from Barbados. So we may do more coverage of this. Something that might come into play, as I mentioned, is the internet is out in my studio. It is supposed to get fixed tomorrow. I am currently not in my studio. I am on my laptop in a different location. So it's possible that at the time I would normally come on to cover this tomorrow, I may be helping being at the studio being there while they fix the internet. And I may be a bit restricted tonight in coming on the air because I'm not actually at home in my studio. So I do apologize for any kind of coverage we might miss. But I do need to get that internet fixed in the studio so we can be back there as soon as possible. And that's going to be tomorrow. But the storm is supposed to impact in the morning. sometime Monday morning. And as I showed you before, the current cone says that's 2 a.m. Monday. That's 2 p.m. Monday. So if you just eyeball it, it kind of seems like maybe sometime after 8, 9 a.m. it'll, go through here. 8, 9, 10, 11 a.m. I can't tell exactly. But and obviously you will have, before it makes landfall or goes by, you will have hurricane storm impacts before then. Oh, thanks to Kenneth Colton for your support. Also, Nikos Kostianis. All right, so it's a very dangerous situation. So it's a very dangerous situation. We'll have to just see how this plays out. But as Levi Cowan said, it seems to be sticking on the track, and it appears like it's going to go through here. Marty says maybe they'll come early. That would be great. I don't know. We'll see. That'd be great, Marty, if they did, but we'll have to see. I just hope they come and they show up. But a dangerous Category 4 storm. Crispy Priest thinks flooding is going to be a huge issue. The storm surge is supposed to be 6 to 9 feet if you're on the side of the island where the wind is pressing the water in. Have I found live cams? I haven't really been looking yet. I can't really show them unless I have permission to show them anyway. But if we do more coverage, and as it gets closer and I'm aware of them, I'll certainly let you know if I know of any ones that are really, good to look at. Okay. Bonnie Boy says the town of Ford is right on the coast of Grenada, and it will be one of the first hit. Well, we're not sure exactly where this will go. There's the way they do this cone is there's a 2/3 chance. There's a 2/3 probability the center of the storm will stay in this cone. So it might even be outside the cone, the center. We just don't know. They say here, the forecast uncertainty is conveyed by, hold on. Why does that not work? Hold on. One moment here. Why can't you see that? Oh, I know why. The forecast uncertainty is conveyed by the thick forecast cone. Historical data indicate that the entire 5-day path of the center of the tropical cyclone will remain within this cone about 60 to 70% of the time. That's the 5-day path. I guess it's maybe more than a 2/3 chance, actually. There's a 2/3 chance it stays in the cone for 5 days. But, well, I don't know. Maybe the cone is smaller here. Anyways, it's not crazy that it would end up outside the path, but it's likely that the center of the storm stays in this cone somewhere. All right, guys. Well, look, this is going to play out over the coming hours. It is currently 9:21 p.m. Sometime tomorrow morning, this will approach, according to the forecast, St. Vincent, the Grenadines, and Grenada. So I'll be keeping an eye on it. I think normally I would stream as it gets close, but I may be dealing with them fixing the internet in my studio. So we'll have to see what happens. So I think right now I am going to wrap up this live stream. That is what I'm going to do. But I will, maybe do more coverage of this as things develop. And also I will post on my X account, which is @Lookner on X. You can follow me there for breaking news updates @Lookner. And subscribe and follow this channel. Agenda Free TV, we cover all kinds of live breaking news without an agenda. And certainly thoughts with everybody in the region, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, also other countries with hurricane warnings, Barbados, Tobago, St. Lucia, thoughts with everybody there. Hope everybody stays safe, but this does look like a very dangerous situation, especially for Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Okay. But subscribe, follow the channel, and turn notifications on. We have a notification system which we use to let you know that we're coming on the air, which you can sign up for free. Then you get a notification every time we go live, right before we go live. It works really well. The mods will post the link to the notifications in the chat right now. And also, oh, thanks to Katya T, by the way. Thank you, Katya T. The mods will post the link to the notifications, and you can find the notifications link also in the Facebook and YouTube description for this broadcast. And huge thanks to our moderators. They're the reason that we can have chat rooms. And I really appreciate you guys, by the way, posting in the chat, sending me updates, letting me read your comments on the air, and watching the broadcast. So thank you. And thanks to our moderators. You guys make the chat rooms possible. Over there on YouTube, BZ, Ruth Krafasi, Sarah55, Cynthia Moon, AJ, all of our other YouTube mods who've been there. Linda Belk and Larry moderate over there on X. And also on Twitch, Big Ball of Yarn, David Green, Idaho Stars, Sarah, Papa Bear, and Sharon C54. And also on Facebook. Oh, by the way, I do want to thank on Twitch Super Wandin for subscribing on Twitch. Thank you. And our Facebook moderators, Kay Lowry Body, Margaret Riley, Christina Neal.
Twitch, thank you.
All of our other mods over there too. Thank you, Facebook moderators. And thanks to everybody who donated. That is super nice of you guys. I hope I thanked everybody. I hope I got everybody. I think I did. Let me do a quick check. Everything's a little more difficult when I'm not doing the stream in my studio and I'm doing it on my laptop, so I can miss things. But hopefully I got everybody who gave donations. Anyways, I really appreciate it. Your support is what keeps this channel on the air, so thank you. If you ever want to donate, you can go to agendafree.tv, agendafree.tv. Oh, I think I thanked Debbie Campbell. Thanks, Debbie Campbell. She said she has many friends on Grenada. Oh, Ariane6. Did I thank Ariane6 for the gift memberships? Thanks, Ariane6. Did I thank Kimmy? I think I thanked Kimmy. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed. I didn't thank Tie Shoes. Tie Shoes. Thanks for your support. And Lynn Downey as well. See, I missed a couple donations. Sorry about that. It's a little harder when I'm doing. It's much harder. I can't see everything as well when I'm doing on my laptop. So thanks, Lynn Downey, for your support. Zach, our new member. Jojo777JLD, our new member. And Matthew Hooper, our new member. Thank you. Thanks to our Discord moderators. We also have a Discord chat where you can talk to other viewers when we're not on the air. And that's the Discord chat link is the same link as our notifications link to sign up for the notifications. Also a reminder, I do have a personal channel, which I do some non-news videos on. And that is called Lookner on YouTube and Look Nerd on Twitch. You can check that out if you'd like. Lookner on YouTube and Look Nerd on Twitch. Want to say thanks to, Ronald Egnor was moderating too. Thanks, Ronald. I appreciate that. Hey, thanks to all of our Facebook subscribers like Eve Richards, Billy Joe Drage, Kay Lowry Body, Ronald Egnor, Margaret Riley, Jane Summers, all of our other subscribers over there on Facebook. Thanks for supporting the channel. Much appreciated. On Twitch, our subscribers over there, thank you so much. Hang on a second. I want to thank them. Like Shaggy, Wall Street, Super Wandin, Relila, Annie Cush. Let's see here. All of our subscribers over there on Twitch, thank you. Much appreciated. And all the others too. Our YouTube members as well. Thanks to all of our YouTube members. Really appreciate it. People like Mythical, Dr. McRib, UV Lightning, Alibaba, Ryan the Gamer, Arion6, Marty Hagwood, William Cromer, Storm Laughter, Paula Faust, Gregory Albright, William Cromer, Elizabeth, PZ Papazulu, Randy J, Gas on the Brain, Pat W, J.K. Sinar, Jim Lill, Can Aiken, Linda Cosma, Jane Jones, Paula Faust, Deeper Understanding, Steve B, thanks for being a member, Civlap, Nikos Kostanis, Evelyn in Maine, and all of our other members. Thanks, YouTube members. Jim Lill, and others. Okay, guys, so again, I'll be keeping an eye on this. I do apologize if tomorrow morning I would normally cover it, and I'm dealing with, at some point tomorrow morning, I'm going to have to deal with the repair person coming to the studio and fixing the internet so I can actually stream from my studio again. So I apologize if something is happening like this and I'm not on the air when you expect me. But if I'm not, it's because I'm dealing with getting the internet fixed. So hopefully that can get fixed tomorrow and fixed early. All right. So that is it for now. Again, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks also Eric Johnson and Ignatius and War Dispatch and Captain Chaos, Dual Show Gur PSN, Shakers WC, and all of our other viewers. Appreciate you joining the stream. So let's hope somehow it takes some weird turn and it doesn't impact the Windward Islands that much, but it's not looking like that's going to happen right now. All right, guys. So that is it for now. You've been watching our live update on dangerous Hurricane Beryl as it approaches the Windward Islands. And we will see you soon with more live breaking news coverage right here at Agenda Free TV.